The president is expected to depart from Niamey, Republic of Niger, tomorrow to participate in a meeting on common currency for the West African region. President Muhammadu Buhari will be accompanied by the Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun, and the Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele. Besides Nigeria and Niger, the other member countries of the ECOWAS Task Force on Common Currency are Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana. President Buhari will return to Abuja the same day after the meeting. Nigeria is indivisible, but strong consideration must be given to key issues such as devolution of powers and true federalism. And these are some of the decisions reached at the Southern Governors Summit here in Lagos. The governors also agreed that there's a need for good infrastructure in the region with assurance of security that will help drive stable economic growth. The governors appointed Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos as the chairman of the forum, while Seriake Dixon of Bayelsa and Dave Umahi were co-chairs. The chairman of the Southern Governors Forum read the communique after the meeting.
The Southern States Governors, at its meeting of 23rd October 2017, held in Lagos House, Ikeja, restated their commitment to a united and indivisible Nigeria. The summit also reiterated its belief in true federalism and devolution of powers. It restated its commitment to collaborate with one another for the growth and development of their economies. The summit emphasized priority on security of lives and properties of its citizens. The summit also emphasized the need for effective linkage on good infrastructure within the space of southern Nigeria. The next meeting is scheduled to hold in Port Harcourt, Rivers State.
Let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Gloria Umezuke. Gloria.
Well, thank you, Ijoma. The suspected kidnap kingpin Chukwudumemi Owamadike, popularly known as Evans, is seeking to have charges leveled against him by the Lagos State Government Court in court. Well, Evans' application was filed today by his lawyer following his arraignment on fresh charges at the Lagos State High Court. His lawyer told the court that the charges constitute gross abuse of court process and disclose prima facie case against his client. Our correspondent, Shola Shoyali, reports.
It's the second in a series of charges the Lagos State government has filed against suspected kidnapper Evans and his alleged accomplices. Led by security operatives, the defendants were brought in from prison custody into the Lagos High Court, sitting in the Boshere area of Lagos Island. 2 charges have been made against Evans before this court, presided over by Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo. In one of the charges, Evans and 3 others are facing 7 counts of conspiracy, attempted kidnap, attempted murder, and murder. In counts 1 and 2, Evans, one Joseph Emeka and another Chiemeka Arinze, are charged with the murder of Peter Nweke and Chigozie Ngozi, who were said to be police officers attached to the chairman of the Young Shall Grow Motors, Vincent Obianodo. The offences were allegedly committed on the 23rd of August 2013. The counsel submitted that all the counts in both charges were barred for duplicity, grossly defective, and constituted an abuse of court process, especially as they disclosed no prima facie case against his clients.
Once we are challenging the competence of these charges, then the court doesn't have to continue to proceed with the trial. And that's what we are saying. Look, let me shed more light on it. They brought the same kidnapping offense they brought against him in the Ikeja High Court. Is it not an abuse of court process? And they are saying that they have also brought another offense for murder, when there's no evidence of death. The third, they are saying illegal possession of firearms, transfer, sale of firearms is a federal offense. Does the AG have rights to prosecute federal offense in the state high court? We'll get there on Friday.
The prosecution declined to comment on the proceedings, but in its counter affidavit, the Lagos State government contended that there was no duplication in the charges. The state's Director of Public Prosecution, Titilayo Shitabe, maintained that the fresh charges were valid and competent, having satisfied the provisions of the relevant laws. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo has adjourned till Friday, the 27th of October, to hear arguments on whether to quash the charges or to proceed with arraignment and trial. Shola Shoyele, Channels Television.
A former National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Mr. Olisa Metu, has asked a federal high court in Abuja to compel former President Goodluck Jonathan to appear in court as a defense witness. At his resumed trial in Abuja, the lawyer to Mr. Metu informed the trial judge, Justice Okunabang, that he had written Dr. Goodluck Jonathan without any response from the former president. Mr. Metu's request to compel the detained former National Security Advisor, Colonel Sambo Dasuki, to also appear as a defense witness was, however, resisted by Dasuki's lawyer, Ahmed Raji. Well, after listening to arguments from all the parties, Justice Okunabang adjourned the hearing of Mr. Ahmed Raji's application to Tuesday, the 24th of October.
The best way to do it is to bring all the parties involved, let them come to the court and explain the activities. Olisa Metu did not break into a central bank. He did not break into the office of the National Security Advisor. He was right there in his residence when he received the instructions, and then he carried out the instructions to the letter, especially according to the evidence of the prosecution witnesses. So a man cannot go to jail for carrying out an instruction. If there are certain things that are illegal about the instructions, then those who gave the instructions will come and explain. Certainly not us, and that is justice. Anything done to the contrary will not amount to justice at all.
The application is essentially to set aside the subpoena, or at the very worst, put it in abeyance until the colonel enjoys his freedom. Because the subpoena is asking him to come and testify in a matter where there is a subtle indictment against him. It's like asking him to come and speak against himself, which is unconstitutional. So our stand is that the subpoena is not in order.
Away from the courts, 16 persons have been killed and 18 others injured in multiple suicide bomb attacks at the Mona Garage area of the Maiduguri, Borno State capital. The police commissioner in the state, Damian Chukwu, confirmed that incident happened last night. He says the first blast occurred when a male suicide bomber detonated an explosive device at the crowded garage. He also explained that shortly after, 2 other female suicide bombers detonated IEDs strapped to their bodies, killing themselves and injuring several others. Mona Garage has been a major target of the terrorist group Boko Haram at the height of the insurgency in the northeast of Nigeria. The leadership of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has come on board with the Benue State Open Grazing Prohibition and Ranches Establishment Law of 2017. Well, after a meeting with the Benue State Governor, the national president of the association, Mr. Mohammed Kiruwa, represented by the national president, pledged the Fulani pastoralist support for the law which criminalizes open grazing by November the 1st. Governor Samuel Otom, on his part, reaffirms his commitment to follow through with the implementation of the law, which seeks to provide lasting solutions to herdsmen and farmers' conflicts.
This law is done in good faith. It's not done with the intention of chasing any of our members out of Benue. The law has recognized our members as indigents. It has recognized the flights of the pastoralists in the state. So it's now left for us and the government of Benue State to put our heads together and see to the effective implementation of this law without causing problem to either the farmer or the pastoralists in the state.
As a listening governor and as someone who is in touch with the grassroots, I have no option than to do the desire of my people. So the law will be implemented. But I can assure you that we are all human beings, and we know the challenges that the herdsmen will face in the course of implementing this law. It will be given a human face so that all of us have a win-win. But the law must take its course.
Well, that's it from the nation's capital. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Gloria. It's less than a month to the governorship election in Anambra State, and the candidates are not leaving anything to chance. The incumbent governor and candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance in the election, Willie Obiano, has taken his campaign to the industrial cluster of Nnewi North and South local government areas of the state. Governor Obiano gave the residents the assurance of his determination to address the challenge of power supply in the area.
A large crowd of party supporters gather at the St. Mary's Field in Ukpo Nnewi South to welcome Governor Willie Obiano. It's the flag-off campaign of the All Progressives Grand Alliance APGA seeking the re-election of Governor Obiano. For the former central bank governor and the local government transition chairman of Nnewi South local government, Governor Obiano deserves a second chance.
In terms of qualification and experience,
Governor Willie Obiano is the man of the day to take Anambra to the level it should be. In the next 20 years, Anambra should be in the top 5 economies in Africa. This is the man that will take us there.
It's also the same large turnout of party supporters at Anedo Square in Nnewi North, the home of the late party leader, Dim Odumegu Ojukwu. Those here also reel out the achievements.
Of Kosharis Road, Obodu through now, completed. St. Peter's Nnewi St. Teresa Road, Nnobi, Obodu completed, Nnewi.
Words of support and encouragement coming from all angles, Governor Obiano mounts the pavilion to give the good news to the people of Nnewi North and Nnewi South.
I want to surprise Nnewi. He will stop using generator. We are taking electricity to 35 communities in Nnewi North and South. They will have light 16 hours a day. 6.9 billion naira have been released by the World Bank for the control of erosion. Nnewi-Chi, Anambra State has paid its own counterpart funding of 1 billion naira to ensure that the work accelerates.
His campaign comes to an end as he witnesses the unveiling of the portrait of the late warlord Dim Odumegu Ojukwu by his wife Bianca Ojukwu.